Good morning, everyone. I do believe that we are live. You see, I didn't forget to say it this time. I do believe that we are live. I think that's my opening gambit for every show that I do. Are we live? I'm not sure if we're live. Are we? Yeah, we're live. Here we go. Yeah, and the little red thing is on, which tells us that we are. Right. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my goodness me! What a beautiful day it is today. It's June something. I can't remember what date it is today. What's the theme? What is the theme today? Do we have a theme today? I thought we'd talk about finding time, and you see, I don't even know what date. I know it's Thursday, but I don't know what date it is, but it's got to be somewhere in June, at the beginning of June, maybe the first week in June, maybe who knows. Wait. I know what I'll do. See, it is June the 9th already. Finding time. We always find time for this show. We always find time for story time, unless something gets in the way, like the internet goes down or something. We find time for the important things in our lives, or do we? Because it's so easy to get caught up in work and housework and making dinner and cooking and going to the grocery store and doing laundry and, oh yeah, work. I mean, let's not forget how many of us work. It's so easy to get caught up in all of these things and to find time for these things, because I guess we feel that we have to, especially when, you know, people go to work and they have to make money and they have to support their families. You've got to find time for that, right? Um, but what are the important times? And we talked about time last week a little bit. We talked about, in the newsletter, I talked about time and finding time and how fast time goes. And we know that, don't we? We all know how fast time goes. 1 minute you're waking up in the morning, you're getting out of bed, in my case, slowly, stretching my back, sort of getting up, making time for the day, figuring out what you're going to do with the day. And the next thing you know, it's bedtime. The time in between the day seems to rush and go so fast. It seems to go so quickly that, time sort of can run away with us. But because it runs away with us and because we get so absorbed in things, and especially for me, I have to tell you that time for me flies by when I am writing. When I write my books, what I do is I'm very disciplined. I'll get up, I'll have my breakfast, and by a certain time in the morning, that's it. Okay, I'm sitting down and there I am and starting to work and reading through notes. And even if the writing isn't flowing so well, there's so much that you need to think about when you're writing a book. There's so many things that you need to do aside from writing the book. But time for me, I can literally sit down to write and look up at the clock at some point, realize that I'm hungry, and maybe 5 or 6 hours has gone by. I mean, really just whizzed by. And I haven't even noticed it because I've been so engrossed in what I'm doing. And I think if we are interested in something in that way, we get engrossed in it, and time goes by and we haven't made time for anything else, which sometimes is okay, but so often it is not okay. You all know that I talk to dead people, don't you? I have to say good morning to you. I have to say good morning to Gregor, as always, by my side. I have to say good morning to Chris. Good morning, Chris. But we're on a roll here with time, so I didn't have time to do that, or I didn't make time to do that. Or wait a minute, did I just ignore the fact that I needed to make time for them? Making time is not always an easy thing. But you would be amazed at how many people I talk to who have passed into the spirit world, who say to me, if only, or I wish, or I should have, or I so regret. Time. I didn't make enough time for what I now know are the important things. I didn't make enough time to I didn't make enough time to spend with my wife, with my child. I didn't realize that time would go so fast. I didn't realize that my time was up. I didn't realize I had no more time. And the regrets and the wishful hopes and dreams of what could have been and should have been but weren't. And I hear it all from those in the spirit world whose biggest, not complaint, I won't say complaint, but their biggest regret is that they simply did not make time for the important things in life. Those important things being, they didn't make time for themselves. They were so busy working or doing the laundry or whatever it is, we do. They didn't make time for their own growth. They didn't make time to relax, to think things through. They certainly didn't make time for their family, for their loved ones in the spirit world. Sometimes life ends so suddenly, so quickly that, we blink and it's gone. Sometimes we have the, let's say the dubious, not pleasure exactly, but we have that dubious amount of time where, yes, it's painful and yes, we're suffering, but yes, we also have been given that time to say all the things we want to say and all the things we'd like to say to those that we are leaving behind. But even then, we don't have enough time. We don't make enough time. We don't find enough time because there are so many other things in life that get in the way. This month is Pride Month. People think it's about being pride in being, let's say, being gay or being black or being whoever you are. It's actually, I think, this month should be about being proud of being whoever we are, whether we're different, whether we're the same, whoever we are. But if we don't find the time for our loved ones, if we don't find the time for the important things in life, if we don't find the time to say, I love you, or if we don't find the time to put our children to bed because, hey, something came up again and again, if we don't find the time, if we don't make the time, there'll come a day when, we won't be proud of ourselves because we'll know, as so many people in the spirit world know, that we neglected those people we love the most. We neglected them in a way that maybe isn't important, but then it becomes important. We see so much more clearly when we've passed into the spirit world. We're able to see, we're able to look back at what we did or didn't do. We're able to see the amount of time we wasted on inconsequential things. So I think, it's important for us to realize that we shouldn't waste time. We shouldn't waste time on what other people think is important. We should get our priorities straight. We should think about the things that are important to us. And I'm going to suggest to you all, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm going to suggest to you all, if you'd like to come along with me this month, I'm going to suggest that we make a list, each of us. Sit quietly, think about it for a moment. What are the most important things in our lives? Who are the most important people in our lives? Where do we want to spend our time? If we could, and of course we can, if we make a plan, we can. If we could at least give 5 minutes of our time to the important things in life. It's not about how much time, how long a time we spend with people. It is about the quality of the time that we spend with people. And I think finding quality time, making quality time. In other words, whatever you're doing, stop doing it to spend 5 minutes to put your child to bed. Or if you can't be there, FaceTime them. I'm here, mummy's here, daddy's here, whoever it is, I'm here. Find time. It only needs to be 2 or 3 minutes. Break away from what you're doing at the office. Break away from what you're doing at your party. Break away from whatever it is you're doing. And find quality time. Make sure your kid knows you're going to call at such a time. Tuck him into bed that way. Snuggle him up in that way. Let him know that you love him. Every single night, I won't say it's been every single night since my grandson was born, but practically every single night we find time to talk. And sometimes it's just, I can't be long, Mosey, because Mummy says I've got to go to bed. And it'll be 2 or 3 minutes, but in that 2 or 3 minutes, even if it's only 30 seconds, I find quality time. I make sure he has quality time. I love you best in the world, and 99 and 1, and it's a thing that we say. And he'll say 1,000, and I'll say 1,000,000, and he'll say, and on we go. It's quality time. People say, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. I think that when we talk about making time or finding time, people think, oh gosh, but I'm so busy, can't possibly spend this amount of time or that amount of time. And again, I'm going to say, I'd like you all to make a list with me. I'll make a list too. I know what's important in my life, definitely. And I pretty much do mostly what I want to do. So I've learned to do it, but I'm sure there's one or two things in life that I should find time for and don't. But what are the most important things that we need to find time for? We need to find time for our family, even if it's only I love you, even if it's only a call in the middle of the day. I was just thinking about you. You don't have to be on the phone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes even. It's a quick, just thinking about you, I love you. How long did that take? How long did that take for me to say that? Finding time, making sure that it is quality time. And please, anyone out there saying, yeah, but I don't have time because I'm so busy and I'm blah, 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 blah. Don't say that to me. Because for every single one of us, there is no excuse. Not one good reason, not 1,000 reasons makes for one good excuse that you didn't call the person you love to say, just thinking about you. Can't stop, but just thinking about you, wanted to know I love you by. Not even 30 seconds. And how many of us do it? So think about time. Make a list. Doesn't have to be a long one, please, not a long one. Those people who you know you should spend more time with but don't. Those situations that you should spend more time on but don't. Those important things that if God came down and lifted you right this minute, right this very minute, right this very second, what do you think you would regret not doing? Finding time, finding quality time. When we pass into the spirit world, we can look back, and I certainly can say, I found time with my daughter and I found time with my grandson.
Hey everybody, it's Chris. We'll give Rosemary a minute to log back in.
Can you see me?
We can.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, finding time for my daughter, who does it every Thursday morning. I don't know what's the matter with her. But she tries to find time to chat with me whenever she can. So that's where we have it. But finding time. So if we can sort of think about, make a list of the things that we know that we will regret if God came right this moment, lifted us up. Uh, what would we say? No, just give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute. I just need to say. I just need to connect with. I just need to do. What is it? Find the time to to do that one thing that is important to you. My one thing is that I would like to let my daughter and my grandson know that they are the most special to me. My grandson said to me last night, Mosey, he's talking about his puppy. He said, I think that I have got the most special little boy in the whole wide world. And I said, well, I think that's lovely. But you know what? I think that I've got the most special little boy in the whole wide world. And he started to smile. And then he said, me. And I said, you. It's not enough that you love your children. It's not enough that you love your family. It's not enough that you love your friends. What is so important is that they have that knowledge. Without a doubt, they know absolutely who loves them most, who loves them deeply, who loves them sincerely. And finding time is easy if you think about the fact that, you know, we don't always have it. We don't always realize how quickly life can end for us. We don't always realize how easily life can whiz by us, and before you know it, they're grown up and they've gone away and they don't need you because, hey, you didn't let them know you needed them. It's not because we don't love them, it's because we forgot or didn't find the time, didn't realize how much time had gone by and we let it slip through our fingers. Every day, in one way or another, we need to remember to find, even if it's only 30 seconds, and I'm going to say it to you again. It is not how much time we spend with people, with our loved ones, with our children. You can spend a whole day with them, but if you're not connected to them, if you're doing something else, if you're on your phone most of the time, as I see people all the time, if you're not connecting with them, you spent 24 hours with them, but what difference does it make? Nothing. They get nothing, you get nothing. But if you spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or if you're really, really lucky, a whole day, but make it quality, connect, interconnect, be interested, be present with them. That's what quality time is about. Making quality time, however long it lasts. Anyway, that's our theme for today. So I'm going to pass over to Chris. Good morning, Chris. I think I did. Did I say good morning to you? I did sort of, didn't I? Yes. Anyway, I'm finding the time now to do that. Good morning, Chris. And grey glasses, a hand on my shoulder there. He's laughing. Um, do we have anyone in the chat room? Have I just been talking to myself all morning?
Well, I could kid you and say you've just been talking to yourself, but I wouldn't do that. No. We have a lot of people in the chat room.
Okay. All right. So
Um, so do you want to start with some comments?
yeah, let's go for comments and then, question, whatever it is you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, so Amy's saying this is very true. Time goes by so fast, and we need to make sure we have quality time with our loved ones.
Right. And that's the word, quality time.
Cheryl says, with all these mass shootings, it makes me realize you just never know how much longer we have in this life.
That's so true. That's it. And you know, I actually deal with people on both sides. Um, I deal with the people who are still here on this earth, regretting that they didn't spend that time, or regretting that they didn't take the kid to the zoo as they promised. So many regrets. But I also see from the other side, from the spirit world, so many regrets. I didn't take it to the zoo. I didn't make the birthday party, and so on and so forth. So many regrets, and I think that it's important that we live our lives with as few regrets as possible.
Annika says, you are so right, Rosemary, in making time for those things and people that matter.
Yes.
There was a comment in here, which I'm right now trying to scroll to find. Annika had also said, there is no point in having regrets. They only make you feel bad, even when I do very much understand how we can look back and feel sad for time lost.
Well, I hear what you're saying. There's no point in having regrets, but if you don't regret, wait a minute, I have to think about this. If you don't regret, does that mean you don't learn? Does that mean it didn't sink in? I'm not sure, because I think being regretful about things, I think for me certainly, there's one particular thing that I regret very much. There's one thing in my life that I did, and I might have spoken about this before, but I remember regretting something that I said to my father, not intending to wound, or at least I'm not sure if I, on a subconscious level, intended to, and I'm not sure. But uh, as soon as I said what I said and I saw his face, it was as if I couldn't have hurt him more if I had got a knife and stabbed him in the heart. And I did not realize, because in his face, when I said these things, which were very true, there was so much regret and hurt and pain. He wasn't upset with me by any means. He wasn't angry with me, but he so regretted so many of the things that he'd said and done over the years, and his regret was very clear on his face, and I immediately regretted, and still regret to this day, that I said those things and that they hurt him. But at the same time, isn't it a learning process? I'm not sure. Chris?
Marlo says, it's already evening here in Holland. I should really cook, but I make time to watch. I think that's more fun.
Me too. I thank you for that. Yeah. What if you should cook? What is it that you're planning on cooking? You know, we're always interested in food. You know, on this show, I'm always interested in food. Chris?
Uh, all right, so now we're moving to questions, Rosemary.
Okay. Thinking of food just for a second, I did make a very delicious stew for a friend of mine, especially. Just thinking about food. Anyway, carry on.
Don't make me hungry. Barbara says, good morning. Today is my mom's birthday, and I miss her dearly. Is she okay? Who is she with? And I often get signs from my husband, but never from her. Why doesn't she send us signs? Or am I just not sensing them?
I think, my darling Barbara, it's a great question, but I will need a good half an hour to answer all of that. So I'm relying on Gregor, who tells me yes. Yes to what? Yes, yes, she's fine. And I think that it may well be that you're not, let's say, open enough or sensitive enough to your mum. Maybe she's trying too hard to get through to you, or maybe you're trying too hard to listen to her or to watch for signs from her. And that, when you try too hard, that can act as a barrier too.
Elizabeth says, "Good morning, Rosemary.
Good
Is
morning.
it true that keeping the photograph of a dead relative on the bedside table is not good for them? Have you a message for me by them? Thank you."
Okay, let's address the photo. Who told you that? Uh, Look, I've got photos of my puppies all over the place. I've got two photos of my puppies in my bedroom. I've got, uh, I'm just trying to think where the photo of my daddy is. I've got photos everywhere and by the bedside. I don't know who told you that, but that's ridiculous. It's just our way of remembering them, wanting them to be close to us, wanting to be close to them. I don't know. I don't know where or how you came by that piece of information, um, Elizabeth, but it ain't true. And I know that your family are fine, and so do you. Chris, keep going.
Lorraine says, "Also, don't waste the time for petty quarrels. Let that competitive part of me that needs to get the last word in. I so regret not finding more time for my mom during
Oh,
the busy parts of my life. I did the best I could. I know it was not enough looking back."
again, remember, it's not about spending hours with somebody or days with somebody. It's the quality of the time. So even if it's only 30 seconds, the quality of the time that you spend is very important. And I think that's what we tend to forget. We tend to think, you know, for instance, when my neighbour Dorothy was here, I would strive to find the time for her because I knew for her 30 seconds wouldn't be enough. But sometimes that was all I had to give. So I'd just call her or I'd turn up at the doorstep and say, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you want anything? She'd always say yes to me. Uh, she could have had several pints of milk in her refrigerator, but she'd always say to me, I need milk or something because she wanted me to come back. So I always, if I asked it, I'm going to the grocery store, I always made sure that later on in the day I would have some time and I would take the milk and she'd invite me in and we'd have to sit and chat and so on and so forth. But it's not the amount of time, it's the quality of the time that you spend with someone that is the most important and it's the thing that we remember the most also.
Barb says, "I also spend a lot of time talking to my loved ones who have passed. It gives me such pleasure as I know they hear me and are close."
Good. I hope you're not only talking to them, my lovely, but I hope you're listening to them as well.
Annika says, "I wish I could have spent more time with my darling, and in that respect, I do have regrets. What I mean to say is that you can acknowledge regret, but don't let it bring you down by carrying it around."
I agree. I totally agree with you. Absolutely. And I'm glad you clarified that. So that's pretty good. Don't you love these shows, Chris, while everybody's joining in? Isn't it great?
I absolutely do. Chloe says, "This is great. I'm thinking of the quality time I had with you over the years."
I wondered if it was my Chloe. I wondered. Hi, darling. How are you? How's your mum? How are your sisters? Okay, I'll stop now. Keep going, Chris.
Joe says, "My dad just recently sent me a sign through an email. I'm just amazed at what the spirit world are capable of."
I know, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Isn't it really, really amazing when you think about it?
Marlo says, "I'm always afraid of that I am not giving enough attention, but now I realize that it's okay if it's not long, if you just connect.
Yes,
Someone can give more in a few minutes than a whole day."
I think so. I think so too. And a few minutes of real connection is worth hours of. I mean, I know someone. I won't say who it is, but who spends time uh, with his children. I have to be careful now because otherwise I'll give it away. Spends time with his children, um, you know, maybe take them to the beach, or come and, you know, sit with them or whatever, and rarely takes his face away from the phone. No quality time at all. Even when they go to the beach, no real quality time at all. It's, you know, it's sort of, and I don't think it's somebody being mean. I think it's just they have no, they need to have a check on reality, is my view. That's only my view. And maybe I'm being too judgmental, but you know, if you're going to spend time with somebody, can you just make it quality time? Otherwise, why bother?
Shamanth says, a few days ago in the early morning, I had a dream in which I saw my mother and two more women I know, and they died. I had thought about Gray Eagle. Then I was communicating with my mother's spirit. I woke up from this surreal dream, deeply disturbed. Is there any message from Gray Eagle or my ancestors in the spirit world to me about this dream?
Yes, I'm not sure. Have has her mother died? Her mother and the friends died?
That's what it sounds like to me as I read this.
Have they already died? Because it sounded to me like that they hadn't died yet. So
I
you,
had a
you need
dream
to
in which I saw my mother and two more women I know have died. That's what I'm reading.
have died. Well, okay. Let's do it this way. So I'm checking with Grey Eagle here. When our loved ones come to us, they might come to us in what we think of or consider to be a dream state. They come to visit us. They come to let us know that they're okay. They come to let us know that they are with us. This is not something to be worried about. This is something to be joyful of. Yeah. I'm not sure where we're going with this. Uh, I'm not going to say anymore until she clarifies what she's actually asking me.
Okay. So the next question is from Ellen. Ellen's asking, does my dead son have a message for me?
Well, Alan, first of all, I don't believe in death. I don't believe that we die. So when you refer to him as your dead son, I know absolutely without a doubt. And even as Grey Eagle has his hand on my shoulder, we know, both of us, we know absolutely without a doubt that your boy isn't dead. He's simply uh, in another place, just a whisper away, let's say. He's just a whisper away from you. And I'm sure that he is fine. I'm sure that he's okay.
Natalie's saying, my mom passed, and her and I used to be involved with horses. I strangely got involved with wild mustangs and find them fascinating. I am wondering if my mom helped me with this connection from the spirit world.
I love the fact that she says, I strangely got involved. Look, those we love and those who love us in the spirit world, they can give us gentle nudges. Sometimes they give us very strong pushes, but they nudge us and guide us and steer us into the place that we need to be. I bet your mother had a lot to do with that. And I bet she has a lot to do with you still now and enjoys what you're doing.
All right, then there's Mary. Mary says, I have had clocks, hourglasses follow me around, and even my hair was shaped like an hourglass. This had been going on for 2 weeks. I'm concerned that it means I'm running out of time with a loved one.
I would think what I my interpretation is pay attention to time. Make sure that you're not wasting your time or that you're using your time in a good way, in a right way. Time is important. Time is always running out, you know, it's running out for all of us. Tick tock, tick tock. This is what I'm talking about. We never know. I don't think that this is a sign that you're running out of time, so to speak. I think it's, you know, maybe someone in the spirit world trying to say to you, hey, come on, you know, you're wasting time here. You're wasting this precious gift that you're given. And, you know, every time we waste time, we are, let's say, ignoring the gift.
So Shamantha has come back to answer the questions about the women, the mom and the two women. So she says, no, they haven't died in real
No,
life.
I didn't think. I didn't think that. That's why I was not prepared to answer that, because that was my sense. I think that when we have dreams in this way, I know that there are different types of dreams that we have. Um, Precognition is one of those, and I think that you're worrying. That's what you're worrying about. Have you seen something that you know, that is coming to pass or will be? Well, of course, yes, you have seen something that will come to pass, because eventually, as we all do, your mum will pass and so on. But I think it might well be the kind of dream where our worries or our concerns or something about in our subconscious is concerned. I don't think that this was precognition that you're having. But again, it may well be that someone in the spirit world who loves you is nudging you to say you need to spend a bit more time with your mum, and you need to spend a bit more time with your friends. You know, reminding us of time. I don't think it's precognitive. I can understand why you would be worried, but I think you're okay. I think you're safe there. But maybe you need to spend a bit more time with these people.
Barbara says, I think and talk to my loved ones on the other side. Does this hinder their progress? Am I
No,
hurting them by keeping them earthbound?
not in any way. I know that there is a school of thought which says that we should let them go. But I also know that whenever I give consultations, 99.99999% of the time, we've got a crowd. Everybody in the spirit world is, yay, yay. They've given us a chance. They've given us a chance to talk to them. In fact, I had somebody recently say from the spirit world say, would I say thank you to the person who had booked the consultation? Because when you do that, when you open up and you want to talk to them in whatever way you do it, you're giving them a chance to talk to you. You're recognizing that they're there, and they still very much so want to be a part of our family. They want to be a part of our life.
All right. Joe is
Just
asking.
also, sorry, but I have a quick message for Chris. That hold on, I've got to let you know he's sitting on the bed. That's anyway. Just would you take that? Whatever. Carry on. What were you saying?
Okay. Joe was asking. Now I got to scroll back up here. Is there any update on your new book, Rosemary?
I'm in trouble now. Chris is going to say to me after the show, so how are you getting on with the new book? So we shall let you know. Let's just say I'm working on it, and I'm not promising by any means, but it'll be around my birthday time, which is gone. So not this year, but hey, time goes so swiftly, doesn't it? That maybe by April next year we'll be ready to publish in May. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Keep jogging me though. Keep jogging me along. Joe, thanks for asking.
Lorraine says, I'm so disturbed by the death of the 19 children and 2 teachers in Texas school. Such a horrible death and loss. I visualize them being lifted by angels to heaven to the golden light, and I pray that they are at peace. Does Grey Eagle have a message on this?
Uh, Without a doubt, I think you're exactly right. I'm absolutely certain that their angels were there, that they were lifted, that they were lifted the light, and that they are, let's say, I don't want to wax lyrical here, but certainly basking in the joy and the light of God, and that's what I believe. I feel so sad, so dreadfully sad for the parents and the families who are left behind having to deal with it. Now, it's funny that you should bring this up because yesterday I had an email and I clicked on the email and it took you to a place. I was interested because it had something to do with these particular shootings. And there was a father on there talking about his son. I can't remember now how old he said he was, but talking about his son who had just been shot and so on and so forth. And uh, of course, my heart went out to him. But then the email was about asking for money. I got out of the email. I don't know if this was real or if this was some scam or another. And unfortunately, in our day and age, the things that happen now, it's really tough to think that this would be a scam. Um, and how do we help these people? I think we help them with our prayers. I think we help them by letting them know one way or another that we care about them. Maybe sending an email, maybe sending, you know, love, maybe I don't know, sending cards or whatever. Um, I still don't know about the money side of things, and I don't want that to taint or to give me you know, a nasty taste, let's say, because my heart is with the parents, with the families, with all of those people who are suffering because of this awful, awful thing that happened, this terrible, terrible thing that happened. But life is very tenuous. Life can end for any one of us at any moment. I can be sitting here chatting away to you, and the next minute I can be gone. We know that. We all know that. Every one of us. We're not stupid. We all know that life is only a momentary thing and it can be taken from us, which is why the theme today is to value your time and to give people valuable and important moments of your time. Share your life with others in a way that is meaningful and impactful and inspirational. Um, I'm just sending prayers, just that's what I'm doing. Not just really. I'm sending prayers, prayers for the families. I don't feel that the kids, that the teachers necessarily need my prayers, but of course I'm sending prayers anyway. But I feel that they are taken care of. I think their angels are taking care of them. I think that they are in the light, they are in a good place, a wonderful place, and joyful. It's always those of us who are left behind who are the ones who suffer dreadfully. And so that's where my heart is right now for the parents and the families of those beautiful children.
Shamanth says, "Thank you, Rosemary and Grey Eagle, for answering. It goes with the theme of today's talk that we should spend quality time with the people we love. So thank you."
You're very welcome. Okay, Chris, keep going.
Annika says, "I was so happy that my darling was so happy to be given the chance to talk to me through Rosemary."
Well,
So Annika had a consultation.
really? Was it good? How was it? Can you tell us a little bit more about it? People love to hear these things. They're inspired by them. Thank you very much, darling, for sharing with me. I remember asking you how do you pronounce your name? I remember that. Okay, Chris.
Joe, who had asked about your writing, said, "April, oh well, I'll have to read romantic novels until then.
Oh, uh, no. Well, yeah. All right then. Well, Chris, you love romantic novels, don't you?
Oh, I do. Anything with a happy ending, I'm
I
in.
know. You're a big. What is that? The very famous writer of romance novels. Anyway.
Nicholas Sparks?
Oh no, 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 no. It's a woman. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Barbara Cartland?
Yeah, her. Yes, there. I don't think
That's
I've.
who I read in my youth, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever read a Barbara Cartland book. I am in the middle of a series of books by an author who happens to be English, British, I should say. Um, his name is Roy Lewis, Lewis. Kindle, free. He's a whole series of books. It's interesting because they were written. The plots were set in the 80s and 90s. No cell phones, no social media, none of that stuff. It's quite interesting, but they are very. Roy Lewis is, I have to say, I really admire Stephen King because not so much for the content, although I think his stories are brilliant, but the way that he uses words is unbelievable, and the way that he puts words together, it just makes you just you I mean, I feel he's a true. I think he's underestimated as a writer by many people. They know him for horror. I know him as a writer, an incredible writer. And Roy Lewis to me is one of those, and I'm sort of, as I'm reading his books, which are sort of mysteries and sort of, stuff like that, murder here and there, but they are intriguing. They have different plots to them. They're really remarkable writing. And I have a notepad next to me because I keep coming across words that I don't know, which is for me quite interesting, because I'm a wordy and I love words, but sometimes I know the word, but it's used in a context I've never heard it used before. So I'm intrigued by all of that. Anyway, Roy Lewis, everybody, uh, you should, if you like the whodunits, um, he's the guy, a British author on Kindle. Chris.
Marlo says, today on the bike, I was very tired because I am sick. I have little energy. I felt someone pushing and helping me, but I didn't see anyone. Now I think I am crazy, but I really felt it.
Don't think you're crazy. I think if you're not well, those in the spirit world who know you and who love you, they're going to give you that little push here and there when you need it. Mind you, you might also consider taking ginseng with royal jelly. It's a little file, a little tiny. They come sort of sewn in a box. They're not expensive. They are the best. One a day will boost your immune system. Ginseng with royal jelly. You can't just royal jelly on its own or just ginseng. No, you want the two together. You can get them on Amazon easily. You can get them at your local Oriental store. They'll have them. They'll come 20 in a box or 30 in a box or something. One a day. Even if you're just feeling you want a boost, or you're just feeling keep going to sleep or keep falling to sleep during the day, have one of these a day. Just one little vial. It comes with a little straw. You suck it up. That's it. It's done. And boy, oh boy, if you take them on a regular daily basis, they are really remarkable. Chris.
Lisa says, I feel as if my people in spirit connect with me often. I have wonderful experiences with them. When their presence is obvious and I am with my sister, she brushes them off as coincidences and
Oh,
says, only God will communicate. Spirits are evil, and it is not in the Bible. It hits me in my heart, and I want to prove that our dad, or whomever, truly does have a hand in it. I have experienced years of awesome communication with animals and nature, along with dreams and numbers. I want my sister to open up to this awesomeness. I also do not want to be wrong in God's eyes for believing in both. My mom is diving deep into dementia and is getting quite hard to communicate and be patient with her. I know I need to. She has always experienced, quote, knowing and psychic instances. I have to share and show her I do care. Thank you.
All right. First of all, who is this?
This was Lisa.
Lisa. Lisa, darling. I know that, this is such a wonderful subject. We know that there is a life after death. We don't need anyone to tell us that. We've had our own experiences. You've obviously had many experiences. We desperately want our loved ones to share. We desperately want them to be as enthralled and as excited as we are. We desperately want them to have the experiences that we've had. But we cannot force our beliefs on other people. She will come to it, your sister, in her own time or not. It's her choice. As for the Bible, it does not say anything of the kind in the Bible. On the one hand, in the Old Testament, it does say that you should not, however it says it, you can't talk to dead people. Or, no, actually, it doesn't say that at all. It says, beware of people like me. It says, beware of those people who say that they can communicate. That's what it says in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, it says the opposite. Let's take a look at this Bible of ours, shall we? Or which version are we looking at here? I've had occasion to say this over the last 2 weeks. I've had occasion to say this at least 3 or 4 times. I'm going to remind you of the story of the old lady who went into the bookshop and she said to the young man behind the counter, I've come to buy the Bible. And he says, certainly, madam, which version would you like? And she looks at him confused. She said, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And she said, well, you've got the King James, you've got the this one and the that one. And he starts to pull several different versions of the Bible. Which one would you like? And this poor old woman was so frustrated. She was so angry and she banged her fist on the counter and she said, I want the Bible that God wrote. Yes, well, good luck with that. Man wrote the Bible. Many men sitting around a table. No women, by the way, just saying, just mentioning that. Men who were in charge of these things, they put into the Bible what they believed and they left out of the Bible what they wanted to leave out or what they felt that the layman wouldn't understand. Men who they considered a higher authority, higher knowledge, wrote the Bible, put the Bible together. And over the years, it has changed somewhat, and there are different versions of it. When people quote the Bible to me, I really want to say to them, and which version are you talking about? And I know there is not a version that God wrote. The Bible is an amazing book filled with amazing stories, written in times when people less educated, people who were not educated at all, were really inspired and helped by the Bible. It is a wonderful book to read. If you've ever read it, it's an absolutely wonderful book to read. But you cannot take everything it says literally, and it is very confusing because in the Old Testament it will tell you one thing, absolute. In the New Testament it tells you something entirely different because you've got 2 different people having different views. So by all means, consider the Bible a holy book. It's a wonderful book. It's a book filled with stories. It's a book filled with man's interpretations. Follow your heart, my darling. Go with what your heart is telling you. If you've had all of these experiences, embrace them and don't be afraid that you're going against God, because you're not. Because God is not, as in the Old Testament of the Bible will tell you God is not a vengeful God as they say he is. In the New Testament, they say he isn't. In the Old Testament, they say he is. I don't believe that God is a vengeful God, and I think that we all make mistakes, and I don't think any of us is perfect. You go with what you feel, and go with what you think, and go with what is in your heart, my lovely. That way you won't be wrong. But you can't push your beliefs and your thoughts onto other people. Let it go with your sister. Don't try to convince her. Just trust, have faith that at some point your daddy will get through to her. I think he will. Chris.
Barbara says, I had a consultation with you in March. My husband, Donnie, came through and did not let others communicate. The session was amazing and a comfort to me. You are an incredible gift to us. How soon can I book my next session with you so I can connect with others and maybe with him again?
Well, look, Barbara, there are no guarantees. I can't guarantee your husband is going to let anybody else talk, but as you know, whenever. When did she say, Chris? March?
March.
I'm going to say, sort of 6 months or something. Yeah. Yeah. But thank you for that, Barbara. I love it. I do love it when someone comes through from the spirit world, and they can be a bit bullying. They can say to other people, "No, this is the first time. It's my turn. She's my wife. He's my husband." She's like, no, and I love it because it shows their personality. It shows their desire. I know we're talking about this, Barbara, and people are thinking, what? They can argue. What? People in the spirit world, they can do that? Their personality comes through? Really? They can do all of that? Yeah, they can. And more besides, trust me, more besides. Chris, keep going.
So Annika answered your question about did she enjoy her consultation. She said, yes, I did. I loved my consultation. And after my spiritual consultation, I felt a part of my grief was replaced with joy. I also have a sense of purpose again.
Wow, good. I'm so glad. Again, I mean, it's, people say, I want to talk to my mother, my brother, my this or that, whoever it is. But if we don't give them an opportunity, and sometimes booking a consultation, as people have done, is giving them an opportunity to come through, to talk to us, to let us know that they are still very much a part of us and still very much involved with and interested in our lives. Um, if if you're a person who either doesn't want to have a consultation for whatever reason, you can't afford it or whatever it is, there are other ways. Listening, being quiet, listening, paying attention, watching for signs is another way to connect with your loved ones in the spirit world. Chris, keep going.
Well, we're right at time, Rosemary. Because we've mentioned consultations, a number of people are asking how to do that. So I can put the information in the chat
Okay.
room.
You need to email Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com. In your subject line, put consultation, and just ask for information, and Chris will send you the information. If you forget, Chris, not that she's easily forgotten, but if you forget, Chris, just write to me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. Chris will answer you anyway, because she sees to all of the emails that go to the office. So either Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com or Chris at rosemaryaltea.com, and we book consultations. I always tell people, when you're booking your consultation, there are no guarantees that this is going to work. However, and I'll say this publicly, because I think everybody who does what I do should be open and honest and upfront about what they do. So I give people, every single time I do a consultation, I begin with, there are no guarantees that we're going to be able to do this today. However, if for any reason we don't do this to my satisfaction, because I've got way higher expectations than any of you might have. I have very high standards. So if we can't connect, or I'm struggling with something, I'll give you two choices. The first choice is that I will, even if it's taken me an hour or 2 hours sometimes to try to figure out what's going on and I'm still not satisfied, you're not paying me for my time. You're paying me for the content of what I can give to you. If for any reason it does not work, no matter how long we take to figure out whether it is or isn't going to work, I will immediately, you have a choice, I will immediately refund your money. Or, second choice, you can book again and try again. And if necessary, again, and not too many times, but again and again, at no charge at all. And we'll just, because I only will charge you the one fee. If it takes us 2 or 3 times to sort of do it, so be it. But you're paying for what the content is. It's like you might take, 2 hours in a store choosing out an outfit. You pay for the outfit. For whatever reason it's wrong, you return it, you get the money back. Nobody's charging you for the 2 hours time you spent in the store. I will not charge you for my time. I will charge you for what I can do for you. So it's important. And if you go to see anyone else at all, because I'm not the only person who does this stuff, if you go to anyone at all, they should tell you the same thing. They should have the same. Not everybody does. Everybody thinks, well, I've been here with you for an hour. It's not my fault it didn't work. But I'm not going to do that. I will only charge you if I feel that this is working. And trust me, we know when it's working, which hopefully it does the majority of the time. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. If you need to know more about us, or you want to know more about consultations and so on, please go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com. It's very simple. Go in there. Take a look at the bottom brickers. We had a phenomenal bottom bricker. Somebody mentioned it to me just yesterday. Oh, I didn't see the show when it happened, but oh my gosh. And they were talking about our first official male who did the bottom brick. Official, when I say officially, he is now a bottom bricker. So, if you want to know more about us, go to the website, rosemaryaltea.com. Again, I'll give you the email, Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com, or just go to the chat room. And I'm sure Chris has put the link up there as well. Right, that's it for today. Until I see you. When will I see you again? So I'm in that mood. You can tell I'm in a mood, can't you? I'm in a happy mood. I'm in a really, really happy mood. All right. So we'll see you definitely, hopefully, on Saturday morning for story time. We may actually do an off the cuff. You never know what can happen. We may do an off the cuff between now and then. So keep watching, and hopefully you can join us for story time at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Until I see you again, everybody, thank you so much. We love you. I know you say you love us, but we love you. So until I see you again, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. Of course, last but by no means least, thank you to Grey Eagle. Until I see you again, then please, everybody, have a very, very blessed rest of the day, and have a very blessed rest of the week, everybody. Bye-bye.